welcome to the episode of the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here, Eric Rodriguez, here to give you guys all the wrestling tea, all the action that happens inside and outside of the squared circle. We just talk about rumors and all that kind of good stuff. Hope you guys are having an amazing week. Hope you guys are having amazing holidays, man. Holidays are flying by super fast, super crazy. I feel like I haven't even had a chance to breathe. It's, well, you know, like, I blame it on Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was, you know, maybe like a little later this year. I think it was on the 28th, which is kind of crazy because usually it's on like the, you know, the 23rd or the 24th. Those 4 days, you know, in discrepancy, obviously, you know, pay dividends. And it makes the holiday season just seems like it just sped up. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We have a great show for you today, all lined up. We have our AEW Winter is Coming results. We have our Ring of Honor TNA recap. And then we're going to talk about Kevin Owens, who, in my opinion, and I'm going to talk about it in the segment, who, in my opinion, I feel like he has to win. He has to beat Cody Rhodes. He has to become the new WWE champion, or it could be absolutely detrimental to his character, to probably WWE as well. We're going to get into that. Fourth segment, we got Trish Stratus news. Seems like she's going to make her way back inside the squared circle. She's going to come back to professional wrestling. I'm not saying like a retirement tour. You know, she got into it within, you know, she was talking about it in an interview, how she said when she comes back, she just doesn't want to do, you know, these knockoff matches or these knockoff promos. When she comes back, she wants to make sure that what she does is kind of remembered, you know, kind of like, not like I said, it's not a retirement tour, it's not her coming back fully, but it's not like she just wants to come back just to kind of show her pretty face around the company again. In our fifth and final segment, we're going to talk about today in wrestling history. We're going to jump on into my wrestling DeLorean, gonna to 88 miles per hour, Marty. And then we're going to talk about what happened in wrestling history on this day of December 13th, not 2024, but, you know, obviously. We're going to talk about this date, and yeah, it's all going to be awesome. All right, but before we get into any of the action, just want to remind you guys to go ahead and hit up that tips and donations link. Also, hit up that super chat. Whether if you got a burning question or a hot take in terms of the world of professional wrestling here at the GSMC Sports Network, if you've been dying to get something off your chest, we are all ears. Don't be shy. Drop your thoughts inside that chat. And if you really want to make sure your comment, question, or concerns, make sure you guys use that super chat, which guarantees anything you guys put inside that chat box right there and you hit that dollar sign is going to be featured and talked about on the show. Also, just leave your comments after the videos are published on YouTube as well. This is also a great way to support the channel, guys. You know, have these podcasters do the one thing that they care about most, is to make sure you guys are consuming as much awesome sports content that you guys love so dang much. So make sure you guys throw us a bone here and there. We are super grateful for each and every one of you guys who joins us here daily on the GSMC Sports Network. Your support makes all the difference. So, but, you know, let's get this party started. Let's get this conversation going. You know, send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome, and together we will make sure this podcast is, bigger, better, and stronger than ever. Of course, you know, super chat and everything, it's all good. Go ahead and hit up that tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Give me your top 5 professional wrestlers, male, female. I'm all for it. Can't wait to see what you guys have to say. Definitely remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show so you guys can get some cool notifications whenever, we all decide to go live. Also, I realize, in terms of talking sports, feedback is a gift. Here at the GSMC Sports Network, we do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity. But of course, like I said, it's inevitable. It's sports. There's going to be some disagreements. There's going to be some criticism. It's all gravy, baby. It's already water under the bridge. Don't even worry about it. We just want to make sure you guys feel like you guys are part of the, part of this company, part of this podcast. All right, so make sure you guys, hit up that super chat. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about some of that AEW. Was it AEW Dynamite's Winter is Coming, or was it just Winter is Coming? I'm not too sure. But, they were live at the T-Mobile Arena in Kansas City, Missouri, home of the obviously, the back-to-back Super Bowl champions, obviously, the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. I thought it would have been cool if you would have seen some, some Kansas City Chiefs in the stands, but I don't think there was really, much star power in that. So we're going to start off, obviously on the mic, you got Excalibur, you got Nigel McGuinness and Tony Schiavone, one of the best broadcasting teams. But, I miss Jim Ross. And we actually did get a health update on Jim Ross, saying that he feels, better than he's ever had before. He had quite a little bit of medical issues over 2024, but it seems like he's going to be announcing at World's End, I think it is. I don't want to say at World's End because it sounds like the third Pirates of the Caribbean movie or something like that. I'm not too sure, but at World's End, so it should be pretty cool to kind of see him come back into the fray. I love myself some Jim Ross. The huge reason why I'm a professional wrestling fan today is the reason why Jim Ross's powerful voice was able to, draw me into the screen, making me feel like that I was sitting right there, commentary with him and Jerry the King Lawler, or him or Michael Cole, and it was just, or him and Tony Schiavone and, Excalibur, and it's just, it's cool. It's always cool to see Jim Ross back inside the Squared Circle. Well, not inside, but announcing what's happening inside the Squared Circle. All right, so we got AEW World Trios Champ, the Bastard PAC, and the AEW World Champion Jon Moxley taking on Switchblade Jay White of the Bang Bang Gang against teaming up with freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. This was the match ended up in a no decision. Obviously, we were about to see Orange Cassidy pick up the victory. And then, of course, you saw the Hangman Adam Page come into the fray, start throwing elbows, tackling Jon Moxley. Obviously, Orange Cassidy was not really happy about this result. He wanted to get a dub over the AEW World Champion. But, in a way, I like it when these three superstars are, together inside the ring. I like the fact that AEW is kind of holding that, the Death Riders are against, they're against the world. Who will join the Death Riders next? Who will, possibly try to team up with Orange Cassidy to take him down. Obviously, at the end of this bout, you saw all three men beating the hell out of each other. Switchblade Jay White, he hit the Blade Runner on Orange Cassidy, and Orange Cassidy, attacked Hangman Adam Page, and it just didn't really look good. And then Jon Moxley, nothing but a huge fat smile on his face, seeing the decimation, and seeing these three superstars kind of go at it. So then he decided to come back in and try to pay dividends. But then obviously you had who came out? No, it wasn't Darby. Darby came out after the Claudio Castagnoli match. Oh god, hold on, I have it in the notes here. But I thought it was a good spot. It was a good spot for it was a good spot for the Blade, not for the Blade Runners, for the Death Riders to kind of be. Ever since they took over AEW, it's been it's been good. It's been good. I heard Jon Moxley's taking full control of this creative, and it's and it makes sense. It makes sense. It pays dividends. It's pretty cool. All right, so now we're gonna talk about. We had a backstage moment between Jon Moxley talking about at World's End. Why can't I say that right? At World's End. At World's End, it'll be a fatal four-way match. The Hangman Adam Page, Orange Cassidy, and Switchblade Jay White will fight, and that's pretty ballsy of Jon Moxley to put his title on the line against those three men who obviously are gunning for him. Obviously, this seems like a huge, it kind of seems like Jon Moxley's kind of selling himself short, having the AEW World Championship in jeopardy. But you're gonna have these three guys who relatively kind of don't care for each other as well. So I can see during the match at World's End, you kind of see Jon Moxley kind of lingering in the corner a little bit inside the match, having these three guys beat the hell out of each other, and realize that they're never going to get along. So it's a great way for the Death Riders to kind of have uncontested, or just kind of just get rid of this AEW, this AEW faction or team, or the good guys, or this band of AEW Avengers who are trying to take down the Death Riders. So this would be a nice way for Jon Moxley to kind of put it all out in the air, being like, you tried to face me, even all three of you together couldn't come together to overthrow me. So this is going to be a good spot for Jon Moxley to win at World's End. Probably he's going to retain. He's definitely going to retain, but at the end of you saw Christian Cage in a suite. You saw him talking about the Fatal 4-Way, how he's still the undisputed future AEW World Champion. Is that true? I'm not too sure. Honestly, if anybody could surprised Moxley. You have the patriarchy, Nick Wayne, Chris Sabian, I'm not, they're not really the caliber wrestlers like Wheeler Yuta, like Claudio Castagnoli, like the Bastard Pack. They don't have those same in-ring capabilities, so it would be kind of shocking to see if Christian Cage is the one to kind of take the title away from, Jon Moxley here in this match. In this future, Money in the Bank cash-in. Hook, obviously, attacking Christian Cage, and then, kind of on the run after he kind of took down the patriarchy. It was kind of cool to kind of see Hook back into the storylines ever since you've seen him retire that FTW championship. He's kind of been nowhere to be seen, no direction, no storyline. Obviously, with him and his dad, Taz, and, that's cool and all, but, it's going to get to the point where you kind of have to push the young fella here. You kind of have to make, I would love to see Hook, maybe find his way in Ring of Honor challenging for the World Television Championship. Obviously, kind of having baggage with him and Brian Cage would be kind of cool. The Don Callis family, the next step above. But right now, Hook is kind of in that lone wolf kind of phase. Well, not phase, but he's kind of in that lone wolf kind of storyline. It would be really shocking. And obviously, I thought about this, and I was like, you know what? It could work. But then again, maybe not. I think it all depends how long Taz is going to be away from AEW. But what if you have Hook join the Death Riders, kind of having, kind of being that, because, Wheeler Yuta literally is, he's on the fence. He's not too sure if what he's doing is morally right, but he's kind of just doing what Mox says, just to kind of stop him from kicking his ass or shoving chemicals down his throat or trying to suffocate him with a plastic, Stater Brothers bag or something. I'm just kidding, no. But, if you have Wheeler Yuta kicked out of the group and you bring somebody like Hook is, his personality, his wrestling aura, he doesn't care. He'll do anything, with the red rum. He'll literally, he's as aggressive and as ruthless and relentless as Jon Moxley. So this would be interesting to see if Hook finds his way into this Death Riders, faction. If you want to have a nice little, future storyline, that's what I would do with Hook right now. Obviously, he's a huge babyface, would, kind of accomplish his future inside the ring. Also, it would accomplish, a nice little shock factor, that Hook is joining the dark side or whatever. All right, next we have a Continental Classic Gold match. We get the one of the AEW's World Trios Champion, Death Rider Claudio Castagnoli, taking on the aerial assassin Will Ospreay. I think Will Ospreay definitely, what's cool for him to win this match. Both of the superstars tried so hard to, Claudio was in control of the whole match. He was in control of the whole match. Obviously, when you can't win on big moves, Will Ospreay, sometimes you got to reach into your bag of tricks there, and he did it with the roll up, able to get that 1, 2, 3 and score those 3 points. So now I think he's tied 6 to 6. It would have been crazy if Claudio would have got to 9. I still, have a huge, maybe this might be a preview of the final 2 people inside, the Continental Classic to see who challenges Kazuchika Okada. But, it could be crazy. Renee Paquette was backstage, and Ricochet said, and I quote, "This is why I came to AEW, for competition, and nothing brings that out like the Continental Classic. And tonight, I have Brody King for the first time, but he's not Ricochet. We might be one right now, but tonight, it's me who hold all the cards." When he said who holds all the cards, what does that necessarily mean? Does this mean that he has the Hurt Syndicate card? Maybe can we see Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin find their way to kind of help Ricochet? Because Ricochet would be a very valuable piece. For me, once when I heard the rumor of, the Hurt Business / the Hurt Syndicate coming to AEW, I kind of had speculations that, this would be a good spot for Swerve Strickland to kind of be a part of a faction. That's something that he's been, kind of lacking, in AEW every single time. It seems like he loses. He loses against the guy who has a faction, who has a party to kind of back him up, kind of cost him his championship. And, that would have been a great way for him to kind of even the odds. But Swerve's still going to, obviously still kind of being on his own. And then now, Ricochet would be perfect. Ricochet was, he's been kind of playing around with the notion that he could in fact become a very effective heel in AEW, obviously with his friend Will Ospreay, would be, it'd be kind of cool. So Will Ospreay would be kind of stuck in the position where you kind of lost all your friends, man. No more Kyle Fletcher, no more Don Callis family, no more Ricochet. So it would be a good spot for maybe Will Ospreay to kind of hire himself in terms of the singles competition there. So it should be interesting to see if Ricochet decides to join the Hurt Syndicate. MJF showed up pulling in a limousine, obviously watching the match between Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. The match was won by Adam Cole. Finally, we're going to see these two guys go at it at World's End. And, for the Dynamite ring, and it should be pretty cool. We saw Renee Paquette interview Matt Cardona. It was kind of cool, kind of interesting to see Matt backstage. I'm a huge Matt Cardona guy. I loved him when he was Zack Ryder, obviously, since Zack is dead. But you can't forget that woo, woo, woo. I'm just kidding. No, but he was cool. He literally, from TNA to Ring of Honor to AEW, this guy's literally his own guy. Like, that's what I'm saying. It wouldn't shock me if he shows up randomly in AEW, maybe to kind of help Chelsea Green win that inaugural WWE Women's United States Championship, which would be pretty badass, pretty awesome. Today's Friday. Yeah, we're gonna find out the final two tonight on SmackDown, and then make sure you guys tune in live later on to to kind of hear about that. So like I said, Kyle O'Reilly suffering the loss, but didn't really seem like he wanted to celebrate, or didn't really seem like he wanted to reconcile things with Adam Cole, Matt Taven, and Mike Bennett of the Undisputed Kingdom. Like I said, I hope I don't see Kyle O'Reilly going into like a heel phase. He's better as a baby face. FTR was backstage hyping up the fight for the Fallen. Obviously, you got Dax and who's the other guy? I don't know why I want to keep calling them the Revival. I'm sorry. Like they were so good on SmackDown. They were so good in WWE. All right, so we had Ricochet taking on Brody King. This match was, it was pretty awesome. Ricochet, hitting the shooting star press on target, but Brody grabbed Ricochet by the throat. Brody searched for, he searched for a sleeper hold on Ricochet, grabbed the ropes and escaped. Going to the top, Ricochet bashed Brody with a spirit gun and then followed it up with a second spirit gun and pinned Brody, which is, good for, awesome for Ricochet. AEW World Tag Team Champions Private Party were backstage, but obviously interrupted by their next competitors, Leo Rush and Action Andretti. And, Renee Paquette talking with Anna Jay about the TBS Championship. The CEO of Mercedes Moné obviously sticks her nose inside other people's business. I'm just kidding, no. It was a good spot to kind of, to promote the match. We have the AEW World Tag Team Champions. AEW Women's Championship match. In the main event, we had the Glamour Mariah May defeat Mina Shirakawa, which was kind of sad because I, definitely love to see Mina Shirakawa. Mina planted Mariah with a crucifix bomb, but Mariah escaped. Mina rocked Mariah with a sling blade off the ropes. Mariah landed a headbutt and spiked Mina with the Storm Zero to score the battle. After the match, Toni Storm made her return to a thunderous ovation, which, I kind of thought it was going to happen, which is, kind of cool because, not to hate on Mariah May, she's cool and all, but it just, she doesn't have that same pizzazz that, that Toni Storm ultimately had. All right, guys, so hey, do not go anywhere. We're going to talk about our next segment. We have TNA Impact and Ring of Honor recap. So grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite ice cold beverage. Don't turn that dial, and we will be back. So, yeah.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Alright, we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here, Eric Rodriguez, here to talk about the greatest thing in the world, professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside of the squared circle. We talk about rumors, drama, we talk about inactive statuses, injury updates. We talk about, we talk about contract negotiations, extensions, and new signings. We also talk about... Sorry, excuse me. I don't know why I feel like whenever I have to record, maybe because I talk too much and I intake a lot of air, that I feel like I have to burp all the time, but I have no idea. I guess the luck of the draw, I guess. Make sure you guys, we talk about promotions from WWE to AEW to TNA to Ring of Honor. If it makes major news world headlines inside the world of professional wrestling, we talk about it here on this show. So make sure you guys, tune in, like, and subscribe to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, so you guys can see more of me talk about professional wrestling, and you guys can make sure you guys, feel like you guys could definitely feel like you guys are part of the mix and drop whatever you guys feel like inside that chat. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about some TNA Impact Ring of Honor, recap as well. But before we do any of that, obviously, you guys hit up that super chat. Go ahead and, like I said, don't be shy. Drop your thoughts inside that chat. If you got a burning question or hot take of professional wrestling, hit it inside that chat or hit it up in the comment after the video is published on YouTube. And if you really want to make sure your comment, question, or concern, make sure you guys definitely hit up that $sign there, which guarantees anything you guys put inside that chat box is going to be featured on the show. Plus, it's a great way to support the channel, guys, here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity, but we need you guys definitely to stay live. You guys are part of this wrestling bloodline, so I think that's awesome. So we can keep giving you guys the content that you guys love so damn much. We are super grateful for each and every one of you guys who joins us here daily on the GSMC Sports Network. Your support makes all the difference. So let's keep the conversation going. Send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome. And together we'll make sure this podcast is, bigger, better, and stronger than ever. Once again, super chat, not your thing. It's all good in the neighborhood. Make sure you guys hit up that tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Just remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show. Follow the network here, the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity, 1,010%. But in terms of talking sports, we understand it's all good. There's going to be criticisms. There's going to be disagreements, obviously. Can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. It's already water under the bridge. It's all gravy, baby. Don't even worry about it. Feedback is a gift. We just want to make sure you guys feel like you guys are a part of this podcast. All right, so let's talk about some TNA. TNA Impact. Just about, what is it, 8 hours? Maybe 8 hours? 12 hours ago? I'm just kidding. TNA, obviously, I was, scrolling on Instagram, and I found out that TNA's they're offering a free month of TNA Plus when you use code TNA Free. So make sure you guys, hit that up if you guys, want to check out TNA for the first time. Obviously, it's a growing company. Well, it's been a marker inside the world of professional wrestling. You see a lot of great wrestlers, kind of stop in TNA first before they decide to kind of make that jump, or they go back to TNA ultimately to kind of, to kind of recuperate, to kind of revitalize their career, kind of draw up this new wrestling persona. Because if there's anything about professional wrestling, there's a lot of times where, you can have just like a fashion makeover, and you could be this whole new person, with this whole new, where you get wins instead of losses. So, TNA has been a great spot for that. I don't want to say it's like the minors for Major League Baseball. I don't want to say that because I don't want to seem like I'm trying to downplay the superstars or the talent that you see inside the ring of TNA. But, I don't know. It's a great spot. It's a great, they have great episodes. All right. So, obviously, tonight, and I'm going to give my my final resolution preview on the GSMC Sports Network at 8 p.m. tonight, so make sure you guys, tune into that. But it's, obviously this is the last show. This is the last show before they're trying to build up. We had Moose, obviously, kicking off the show, vowing to make his X Division Championship the most important title in TNA. I'm pretty sure if you guys are fans of this show, if you guys watch it, you guys could definitely know that I'm not a huge fan of Moose holding this X Division Championship. I just don't think it's good. I don't think it's, I don't know. Not really good in my part. We had, Cody Deaner came out, obviously, and I would rather have the title on Cody Deaner. I'm just kidding. Well, no, like I said, I'm not a huge fan. I love Moose. He's cool in the main event, division, but not in the X division, bro. Save that for the X division guys. It's like Brock Lesnar challenging for the Intercontinental Championship, or, hell, maybe even challenging for the, the Cruiserweight Championship. I'm just kidding. No, but, these X division competitors, if you're not, and I'm not saying Moose can't be versatile. I'm not saying that he can't jump on the ropes from time to time. And I'm not saying that's what the X division is all about. But if you think about, obviously I was, back in 2004, 2006, watching the X division, you had AJ Styles, you had Jay Lethal, you had Christopher Daniels, you had all these dudes, all these high flying guys that, I don't know. That's maybe it's just me. Maybe the X division. Maybe the X division has changed. But Mustafa Ali did hold that title for quite some time, and he kind of falls into the category of of the high flying kind of mix, there. But I don't know. I just bring justice to the X division with Moose losing at Final Resolution. I'm just kidding. No, I would never wish losses on wrestling, guys. I'm just kidding. Moving on. Next we have Mike Santana addressing the four-way number one contenders match at Finals Resolution, when he was interrupted by the Northern Armory, Josh Alexander and Mike Santana engaging in a heated war of words, linking back to their prior battles in the tag team division. Will they put the title on Josh Alexander? He recently announced that he's not really interested in in full time. It seems like, he took he kind of retired from the independent wrestling circuit because, he was a workhorse. He was literally a workhorse, he would basically battle, or he would wrestle inside any ring, who would, literally be like, yeah, you can have like a 5-minute match. That's dedication. That's awesome. That's, that's something that you do. That's something, the time that you have for your loved ones and your family, the sacrifice that you make for that, it obviously, kind of, bleeds into your passion for professional wrestling. And that's something that Josh Alexander is, definitely, inspiring. He's a great wrestler. We'd love to see him kind of come back to the, the main event kind of area. Obviously there's still, talks in the world of professional wrestling that he's going to make his way and kind of, not debut in WWE, but be in the Royal Rumble. There's actually a handful of TNA guys that I can definitely see come to the Royal Rumble, and it's going to be big. It's going to be really, really big. Joe Hendry, definitely one of them. Would be so freaking cool to see him come, to be in the Royal Rumble. That'd be pretty badass. Maybe Frankie Kaz, too. But, all these, like I said, TNA, God, there's a lot of special talent here. And, not really getting the recognition it deserves. I feel like it should, it has like a fan base. During their shows, they probably have at most like maybe 4,000 to 6,000 people. But it's good stuff. It is good stuff. All right, we had Rosemary defeating Zaya Brookside, obviously building up her momentum with her match against, I think she's fighting Slamovich. No, I think she's fighting Jordan Grace. She's fighting Jordan Grace at, Resolution, so it should be, pretty badass. We had Gia Miller informs Trent Seven that he will go one-on-one with Ace Austin tomorrow night at Final Resolution. Austin confronts Seven about the betrayal of his former tag team partner Mike Bailey, Speedball Mountain. Kind of sad they broke up, but Mike Bailey has been kind of flirting with the idea. He's been seen backstage at AEW events and stuff like that, so he could possibly make his way to AEW. The Rascals, Zachary Wentz and Trey Miguel get back into the W column. Well, they won with Matt Riddle, but is Matt Riddle going to come back to TNA? That would be crazy if he came back to the Royal Rumble. Obviously, see a lot of possibilities here. We had the Rascals defeat Leon Slater and Laredo Kid. I like the Rascals. I definitely love the Rascals. I love Zachary Wentz. I love Trey Miguel. And, I would love to see them into the tag team, into the tag team bout division or whatever. The system, obviously, promising that they're going to kick some ass. Tonight, Final Resolution. Digital Media and International Heavyweight Champion PCO and Sami Callihan defeat Jake Something and Ann Hammerstone by disqualification. I like PCO. I like I like the way TNA's handling him. He's been within the World Wrestling like business for quite some time, and you can't really ignore tenure here. Sami Callihan as well. Jake Something, I was so high on Jake Something like about 4 or 5 months ago. I thought he was going to be something, but it turns out it's not really. Hammerstone, has been kind of flirting with the saying that he's injured or not. Maybe this might be a great way for him to kind of take a step away, maybe like a month break or something like that. Knockouts World Tag Team Champion Danny Luna with Jody Threat defeats Heather by Elegance with Ash by Elegance and their personal concierge. I don't want to see Spitfire lose the tag team champions, Knockouts Tag Team Championships again. I don't know why. I just feel like it. They are a tag team, but then again, you kind of have Ash by Elegance, who I feel like she's going to be the next person to kind of challenge Masha for that belt. Obviously, we have Tasha Steelz. Masha Slamovich for the Knockouts World Championship. But, I don't know. I not that I don't like, she used to be Dana Brooke. Not that I don't like Dana Brooke. I think she's great. I definitely think she's great. She's talented. And, Heather by Elegance so far has been impressive as well. So I can't really ignore that based on I love Spitfire. They're so cool. TNA World Champion Nick Nemeth, Joe Hendry, and Knockouts World Champion Masha Slamovich defeat First Class, AJ Francis, Casey Navarro, and Tasha Steelz. After the match, Francis pulls Hendry to the outside, and the brawl ensues. Francis has Slamovich set up for a chokeslam, but she breaks free by biting his hand. Steelz plants Slamovich with a cutter. Francis takes Nemeth sky high for not one, but two thunderous choke slams. Francis stands tall with the TNA World title held up high. Could this be the future of TNA? I really hope not. I'm just kidding. No, not that I don't like AJ Francis. I definitely like what he's doing inside TNA. He was in an interview. He said he's the top heel in professional wrestling, which come on, man. But he's good. He's good. All right, rapidly finishing this segment up, we have Ring of Honor results. We had, We had Billy Stark seen backstage, obviously interrupted by Athena. They need to have these girls go at it by now. I think Billy Starks is a great way to kind of end this historic title run by Athena. She already has the glory. You bet as soon as she loses the title, she's probably going to be taking a huge, well-deserved break after dropping the strap. And New Japan Professional Wrestling International Women's Cup qualifier. Athena defeats Red Velvet, Billy Starks, and Layla Hirsch. The Outrunners defeat the Premier Athlete as well. Madison Rain and Allison Kay defeats Allison Kay with the Crucifix Bomb. Toa Leona defeats Lee Johnson via pinfall with a Springboard Banzai Drop. New Japan Professional Wrestling's Strong Openweight Tag Team Championship match. The Grizzled Young Veterans, the team of James Drake and Zach Gibson, defeat MXM Collection, Mansoor, and Mason Madden. I want to see those guys do better. They were in WWE and they kind of got kicked out. But them coming to Ring of Honor, I just want to, I thought they were going to be like more of a, contender kind of thing, but it seems like it's all but just the same. Paul White was with Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt, where Lethal revealed that he would be making his Ring of Honor return at Ring of Honor Final Battle, so that should be pretty badass. Throwback from Ring of Honor Final Battle 2021, we had Fight Without Honor, Shane Taylor against Kenny King, who, Taylor picked up the victory. Sons of Texas, Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara defeat Josh Crane and Eric Dellinger. via pinfall. We also had a Ring of Honor Pure Championship, Pure Rules match. Lee Majority, the champion, defeats Matt Taven via submission. And, although Matt Taven lost, I feel like this is it was a great match. It was a great way for him to kind of be like, you know what? I'm still, I should still be taken seriously inside the inside the singles category, Pringles category. But, it's all good. It's all awesome. Ring of Honor. Make sure you guys tune in. Make sure you guys tune into some TNA Impact. All right, guys. So, hey, do not go anywhere. We're going to jump on into our third segment. Kevin Owens has to become WWE champion. If he doesn't, it could be detrimental for his character and WWE. I'm going to explain why. So, make sure you guys do not go anywhere.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
And welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here, Eric Rodriguez, here to talk to you guys about everything in terms of the world of professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside the ring, backstage curtain calls, rumors, and drama. We talk about contract negotiations, extensions, and new signings. We talk about promotions from WWE, the GCW, to Deathlock Professional Wrestling. If it makes major news in the world of professional wrestling, even in New Japan Professional Wrestling, we talk about it here on this show 1,010%. So make sure you guys tune into all the awesome wrestling tea that we have here. Like and subscribe to the show so you guys can get some notifications whenever we decide to go live. All right, so Kevin Owens, Big KO, has to become the WWE champion. And it's to the point where this has to happen. He's been flirting with this contract negotiation for quite some time, and it just really hasn't come in fruition. Is WWE gonna, are they gonna sign KO? Like, I know that he got an offer from WWE, didn't really like it. AEW actually made him an offer as well, and and then Kevin Owens wanted WWE to match it, but WWE didn't want to. But I don't really see Kevin Owens going to AEW, although he'd be a great asset. He'd be an interesting mix inside the bunch. But he's a WWE superstar. I don't know why. There's just this aura. Maybe because he's already kind of paid his dues in the independent wrestling already. And, him coming to WWE, he said in an interview that he really doesn't want to see himself anywhere else. Like, he can't. He said, I'm at that point in my career where, if I become WWE champion, it would be the greatest thing in my life. I'll treat the championship with respect. I'll defend it on a daily basis. I'll be a fighting champion. But if I don't, then, that's okay too. I can definitely, be happy. He said if he was to retire today, he would be, just basically grateful. And that's someone that Kevin Owens is. That's something, that a lot of fans kind of got to know recently with the stint with Kevin Owens, with Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, where he was a babyface for a little bit there. And, he was kind of cool. It was, it was great. Obviously, you can see him as a babyface, obviously, after, he beat the Usos, night one of WrestleMania and stuff like that, going up against the Bloodline and then getting injured by this new young Bloodline. And then, Kevin Owens has had a really up and down roller coaster career. So, I don't know. I just feel like throughout Kevin Owens' tenure in WWE, although he's got some championships, not really taking anything away from him. Obviously, the second WWE Universal Champion in history. But, a lot of the times, even Kevin Owens said it himself, that he feels like his career has been a little bit of a lackluster. He was a promising standout inside NXT, and he was a joke of a Universal Champion, obviously, during his run, never really, he did face and he did beat the likes of Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, but, it just wasn't Kevin Owens. He had Chris Jericho, with the list of Jericho. You just made the list. And this whole best friend storyline here, and he ends up dropping the belt to Goldberg, which was a stupid decision by WWE. Should have never happened. If you're going to have Kevin Owens kind of go out there and the only way he's going to win is through interference, I get it. But don't have him drop the belt to Goldberg. If anything, he should have defeated Goldberg, and then thus kind of that's kind of making him more of a serious, threat inside the world of professional wrestling, inside the world of WWE. Like, imagine if he defeated Goldberg. I feel like it would have done wonders for his career. Instead, he drops the belt to Goldberg. Obviously, probably a Vinnie Mac decision there, but it just wasn't the best decision. It was bad for Kevin Owens, and now it's to the point where his characters will be in jeopardy. If literally, what's Kevin Owens? What does he have to do? What does he have to do to become the main guy inside WWE? Will he defeat Cody Rhodes? These guys have great chemistry in the ring with each other right now. Cody Rhodes and the Bloodline drama probably will cease to exist as of right now because Roman Reigns, they're kind of succumbed. They're kind of brought in with their own storyline with this Bloodline Civil War that looks like, due to the injuries of, Tonga Loa. Also, I'm not too sure if Jimmy Uso was a huge. I'm just kidding. No, he's part of the family. He's part of the family. Now you're gonna have them have their own storyline. And Cody Rhodes kind of coming into the mix of it. I don't really see anything else. Obviously, Roman wants the WWE Championship. Obviously, so does Solo. But at the same time, that Unifala just seems like it matters more right now. This, who's the tribal chief? Who's the true tribal chief? Maybe we'll get a tribal chief combat pretty soon match between Solo and Roman. But as of right now, you kind of have Cody Rhodes, and I know he's been talked about on wrestling media as kind of being this, kind of like vanilla, kind of being this, boring wrestling WWE champion, which, I can see how people could make that argument. But then again, I'm like, when Cody Rhodes inside the ring, he's great. He's great. He's definitely one of the best wrestlers to, to ultimately do it right now. But, right now, Kevin Owens, I feel like it's time. I definitely feel like it's time. Kevin Owens needs a new direction. Obviously, having him turn heel and being the, Kevin Owens is right. And, like I said, is Kevin Owens really a heel? Like, he just ultimately wants to prove to Cody Rhodes and kind of be like, dude, like, you were my friend, man. Why were you teaming up with Roman Reigns, who tried to end my career? Obviously, Rhodes did it to kind of protect his own career because you had the young bloodline kind of coming after him. So Roman Reigns was the only friend at that moment in time, and vice versa. Roman Reigns really didn't have his bloodline together until Jimmy came back, and then he brought Jay, and then they brought Sammy, and this storyline could obviously be a lot summed up by just like, the storyline of, just betrayal. It all depends, it's in the eyes of the beholder. It's all a matter of perspective. Is Kevin Owens right? Is he wrong? Or, he's hurt. He's hurt, obviously, obviously related to, the fans, obviously relating to true feelings as you as a human being kind of go through. Like, I don't know. Like, if you have your best friend, obviously it's different because obviously it's entertainment. But, like, we see your best friend kind of, hanging out with the person who might have, beat you up at a party or something. Like, obviously these are huge, steps here. But, and then, like, later on you see them hanging out. Like, it would be it would mess up the friendship. And stuff like this does happen, and it's a nice storyline that, that I feel like Cody Rhodes needed desperately, and that Kevin Owens, he needed. But, I don't know, I just want to see Kevin Owens do better. Cody Rhodes teaming up with the man who tried to end his career wasn't really good. It's just like on Monday Night Raw, you kind of have this Seth Rollins angle where he's neither a heel or a baby face. Can we see Kevin Owens possibly defeat Cody Rhodes, there's a couple of outs here. Like, Randy Orton could return. Randy Orton could return to screw over Kevin Owens, thus kind of fueling their rivalry. It could happen. They have great promos and they have great matches. But Kevin Owens, he could be a comedic babyface. He could be a serious heel. But I don't know, his run as a singles world title, it was back. Last time he had a singles world title was back in 2016. 2017, he held the Universal Champion. Well, not the Universal Championship, but yeah, I think he held the Universal Championship for 188 days. I think his last world singles, I think it was the United States Championship. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But I don't know. It should be pretty crazy to kind of find out. Cody Rhodes as well. The storylines are literally running dry, as some fans, definitely think this run could be a little bit boring. Speaking on the Hall of Fame podcast with WWE Hall of Fame and NXT commentator Booker T said that he wouldn't be shocked if Kevin Owens dethroned Cody Rhodes at Saturday night's main event. Said, and I quote, "This business is so hot right now. There's so many guys that have a rocket attached to their back. This dude has put his time. He's paid his damn dues. To see Kevin Owens actually cash it in, it'd be great, man." And that's true. That's true. 1,010%. That's true. He's paid his dues. He's literally done everything on the main roster. And WWE is hot right now. WWE literally. I feel like if you want to play around with storylines, especially with this WWE heading to Netflix, Monday Night Raw, and this Superstar shakeup, where you will probably see a swap between Gunther and Cody Rhodes, because you saw Gunther talking to Nick Aldis, and you saw Cody Rhodes talking with Adam Pearce last Monday night on Raw. And Cody Rhodes could be like, too, like, hey, like, to be honest, like, I need some new faces. I need some new faces from new places. And him coming to Monday Night Raw, would be great. I feel like it'd be perfect. But Kevin Owens, I feel like it's time. It's got to be his time. Either Cody Rhodes loses the title and the WWE Championship stays on SmackDown with KO, which would bring up a whole new array of different types of storylines. That would be. I feel like it'd be kind of cool. You kind of have to have fresh ideas, and having the title on Cody just seems like a safe move. How sometimes you're playing a game of chess and you kind of you move the pawn up and you're like, oh, okay, I can. It's not the most aggressive move, but if it's the most stable move that I know won't get my butt bit in the back at the end of the match. So this could possibly be a nice little way to kind of bring up some fresh competition like that. I don't know. But that's just me, and I'm not saying Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is. He's not a veteran, so to speak. I feel like he's like on that borderline of being, a new fresh talent toward being a veteran based on his age. Like he was with Randy Orton, with Legacy, with Ted DiBiase Jr., and and then he made it to, Stardust, and then, he got fired from the WWE, and then comes back to WWE, and then he gets his story, the 2-year story with 2 back-to-back Royal Rumble wins. So I don't know. It's I feel like something needs to be different, and I feel like WWE, like what Booker T said, it's fresh, it's hot. So I feel like right now I don't really feel like if this decision happens, fans are gonna be like, oh, this is bullshit. Like I'm leaving. Bullspit. I'm leaving. Like they're not gonna do that. WWE Hall of Famer Bully Ray commented on the possibility of Kevin Owens winning at WWE Saturday Night's main event, stating that The Rock could cost Cody Rhodes the WWE Championship and start their feud heading up toward WrestleMania 41. Right now, The Rock is been rumored to not going to be able to be a part of WrestleMania, but obviously I feel like that's kayfabe. I feel like that's some fake news right there. Even The Rock said in an interview a couple of months ago, when it was first kind of brought to the surface that he was not going to be on the match card of WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas, Nevada, he was like, it's all fake news, don't believe it. So, this could possibly happen. This will be a great way. When The Rock left to film his movie, he basically told Cody Rhodes, this might be the end of the story with you and Roman, but this is the start of our story between The Rock and Cody Rhodes, where, you know, maybe he decides to put up that People's Championship. He holds that belt with such pride. Cody Rhodes can find a way to be like, oh, you know what? I'm the People's Champion, this and that and the other. You know, I feel like the WWE Championship and him winning at WrestleMania 40, I feel like it's paid its dues. You know, he's been champion since April. You know, him losing the championship would not be an indictment on Cody Rhodes' career. Coming to WWE, I don't feel like it would be a black mark. I don't feel like it'll hurt his career in any way. I feel like it would mostly kind of start bringing up the careers of other superstars who could possibly get a taste to becoming that WWE champion. But I don't know. It should be interesting to find out what happens on that. During an interview with the Collider, Kevin Owens spoke about his time in WWE. He said, and I quote, "When I first signed with WWE, I was basically told that I was going to stay in NXT and I was never really going to see the light of Monday Night Raw and WWE SmackDown." But he did. He made his way to SmackDown. He made his way to Raw first, and then obviously Triple H, putting the belt on him, pedigreeing Seth Rollins. So, Kevin Owens becomes the second Universal Champion. Kind of signifying to the fans that this might be the new thing in WWE. But obviously, back then it wasn't really, the creative wasn't controlled by Triple H, where you could possibly have new faces, new NXT call-ups, potentially be a fighting, just honorable champion. And Kevin Owens, still to this day, he looks at that run as Universal Champion as kind of bad. All right, guys, so do not go anywhere. We're going to talk about Trish Stratus returning to the world of professional wrestling. So grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite ice cold beverage, and join me here in about 20 seconds. So, hey, do not go anywhere.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
All right, and welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here, Eric Rodriguez, here to talk to you guys about the greatest thing in the world, professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside of the ring, backstage curtain calls, rumors, dramas. We talk about inactive statuses, injury updates of superstars. We talk about contract negotiations, extensions, and new signings. We talk about WWE to AEW to TNA to Ring of Honor to New Japan Professional Wrestling. If it makes major news in the world of professional wrestling, we talk about it here on this show 1,010%. Absolutely, with cunning, with the best wrestling show on earth. There's actually a lot of great wrestling shows, but definitely, I'm fortunate to be here to talk to you guys about my hot takes in terms of the world of professional wrestling. So make sure you guys Superman punch that like and subscribe button so you guys can get some cool notifications when we go live. All right, without further ado, we talked about AEW's Winter is Coming. We talked about TNA and Ring of Honor. Make sure you guys check out those videos on YouTube. We also talk about Kevin Owens. It's not even a question. He has to become the new WWE champion at Saturday night's main event. Tune into the reasons why. Make sure you check out that video on YouTube as well. And now we're going to talk about, we were just talking about one amazing Canadian professional wrestler to another. Trish Stratus reached Stardust. Okay, that was my bad. Obviously, going to fix that right there. So it just, bam, there we go. That seems right. All right, so we're going to talk about Trish Stratus returning to the world of professional wrestling. Will we see Trish back inside the squared circle or backstage in terms of WWE? It could possibly happen. Who knows? March 25th, March of 2025 will mark 25 years since Trish Stratus debuted inside the world of professional wrestling on Sunday Night Heat while accompanying Test and Albert. Obviously, their tag team was called TNA. It was, it was a different time in terms of the world of professional wrestling. But, it was a decent tag team. It was very decent. Will we see the 7-time Women's World Champion make her return? According to Stratus, the possibility is still up in the air, and she said, and I quote, I have to be able to deliver. Obviously, she feels like, she was recently on the cover of a Muscle Fitness magazine. Obviously, you could be the biggest, strongest person in the world with a great physique, but once when you step inside the squared circle, you better know your stuff. I like how she's kind of giving credit to wrestling here with this statement that, like I said, just because, you play the part, just because you can bench press 350 or whatever, doesn't necessarily mean that you can hang with WWE wrestlers or professional wrestlers for that matter. So, basically stating that she has, she probably has to endure some more training. Obviously, she doesn't want her coming back to the WWE or professional wrestling to seem like it's just like a retirement tour. When she comes back, she wants to make sure that she fights like all the others, no miscues, no botched moves. She ultimately wants to feel like she can hang with the best that WWE or professional wrestling has to offer today. So that's good for Trish, and there's no doubt in my mind that she could, definitely be there and come back to professional wrestling, and everybody would just kind of have opening arms because she's one of the best to do it. WWE Hall of Famer here. She told the Takedown on Sports Illustrated that she's looking for something challenging and different for the fans. She said it has to mean something. So, like I said, when WWE superstars or Hall of Famers come back, they do this thing where they latch on to a younger superstar, and the younger superstar is so thrilled that a WWE legend, or a wrestling legend for that matter, comes and puts them under their wing, and then kind of what you saw with with Becky Lynch, kind of that storyline. That's actually a great example of what Trish probably was stating when she said, I don't want to see this done, once, I don't want to see it done again. Like, where she was with Becky Lynch and it was cool. And then she was with Zoe Stark, which was a great spot for Zoe Stark. I thought this was going to ultimately propel her career into superstardom, obviously, with the Pure Fusion Collective. Doesn't really seem like it's going to be jumping off anytime soon. But right now, Trish Stratus, she said she wants it to mean something. She said she wants it to mean something. What does that mean? What does that mean? So can we possibly see her in a lot of shocking developments and a lot of shocking storylines, which would be pretty cool, because she's still very much like, she's not the youngest, but she could definitely still kick some ass inside the squared circle and kind of still dictate the match inside the ring. You saw that with her match with Becky. There was a couple times where you're kind of like, oh, okay, who's been in the squared circle longest? Like, you can kind of see how her tenure in WWE is really kind of reflected on Trish. Kind of like that saying, like, once when once when you ride a bike, you never forget. So Trish Stratus would be amazing. She's also kind of brought up Mercedes Moné. Will we see Trish Stratus make her way into AEW for a couple of matches, for a couple of spots? This could be great for Trish. This would be great for her wrestling career. It'd be great. It'd be amazing. It'd be astronomical if Tony Khan could make this happen. Even in Mercedes Moné, she named her top 5 fantasy opponents. Trish Stratus was one of them. So that kind of do some wrestling justice here and make that happen. If AEW found a way to kind of have Trish Stratus make an appearance just for one match, you offer her, well, let's just say, like, I don't know how much a wrestling appearance costs. I know, like, The Undertaker, every single WrestleMania match, I think he gets paid like around like $5 million or something like that. I think I read. Don't quote me on that. But like, imagine if Tony Khan's like, hey, Trish, one night's work. No, not one night's. Maybe like a week. No, maybe like a month. A month's work. Where you're featured solamente on Dynamite, and you start building up this momentum to feud with Mercedes Moné, because it seems like the women's division AEW kind of really needs it. And I'm not saying that Raw and SmackDown don't need it as well, but AEW, if this happens for AEW, this would be big. And they offer Trish Stratus just $1 million contract for a month's work. That would be some money that you would not be able to refuse. Even if you might get, it's a huge no-no that WWE legends find their way on AEW, but it's happened. It's happened. Think of Paul White. Even Ric Flair, and then Ric Flair comes to WWE. Like, it's it's natural. It happens. It's the world of professional wrestling. This is the world we live in with this new age in digital media. Basically, anybody could be famous. Literally, anybody could post their stuff on YouTube. Anybody could be on Instagram or be TikTok famous, and find a way to kind of monetize your content. And I feel like this would be a great spot right now. WWE, kind of sees Trish Stratus on there. They're like, oh, okay, I don't see why you would get so upset. But Trish Stratus coming to AEW to fight Mercedes Moné would definitely be an absolute bombshell. It'd be pretty cool. It'd be pretty cool. Like I said, September 2023, she challenged and fueled Becky Lynch's kind of she helped Becky. She definitely helped Becky kind of reach that point in superstardom where she is kind of the top girl, because of it. But Trish Stratus, one of the best to ever do it, challenging Becky Lynch was I knew this was going to be a great way for Becky to kind of be like she could be a future Hall of Famer, and she will. Trish Stratus believes that she'll be making some sort of WWE appearance in the year of 2025. She said, and I quote, I'm going to examine the landscape, seeing what works best for everyone. So, once again, Trish kind of, explaining why when she comes to WWE, she just doesn't want to be some weird, sporadic, cool, shocking entrance. I think she's going to be part of the Women's Royal Rumble. Definitely, for sure, she's going to be in it. Maybe she wins it. I'm just kidding. No, that'd be interesting. But she's definitely one of the 7-time World Women's Champion, and obviously didn't have a Women's Royal Rumble back then, so it would be crazy to see her come back. Maybe a full run. That'd be kind of cool. And like I said, right now, Raw and SmackDown, you don't really have those women that are like, oh god, like even with Nia Jax at the helm holding the WWE Women's World Championship, you're kind of like, you know what? I still kind of see some flaws in this storyline. But like I said, it kind of sucks. But but I would love to see Trish Stratus kind of make a championship run. That'd be pretty badass. So like I said, she's going to examine the landscape, see what's best for everyone in the booking. She's not going to come in and take opportunities away from younger superstars. That's probably the only thing that's going to kind of, be a catalyst in terms of her next WWE spot. She also pointed in an interview how she wanted to fight the women's champion, Nia Jax. She said she explained her desire to be a rag doll before she retires. Nia Jax, she said, I'm so happy she came back. She's great. She's great. And she, like I said, she addressed the possibility of her facing Mercedes Moné, one of Moné's dream matches, and it would do wonders for WWE. Obviously, the ball is in Trish's court. Whatever she decides to do, wrestling fans will follow, and she would make absolute... if she wants to do something memorable, coming back to professional wrestling, definitely, be in talks with Tony Khan there. That would be, pretty badass. All right, guys, so hey, do not go anywhere. We get our 5th and final segment. We're going to try to wrap this up pretty quickly. Here we got today in wrestling history on the date of December 13th. So grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite ice cold beverage, and join me here in about 30 seconds. So hey, do not go anywhere. All right, and welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here, Eric Rodriguez, here to talk about the greatest thing in the world, professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside of the sports circle. We talk about, Backstage rumor, curtain calls, drama. We talk about contract negotiations, extensions, and new signings from WWE to AEW to New Japan Professional Wrestling to the NWA to the GCW. If it makes major news in the world of professional wrestling, we talk about it here on this show 1010%. So make sure you guys like and subscribe to the show so you guys can get notifications whenever we decide to go live. All right, so we have today in wrestling history, December 13th. We're gonna jump on into my wrestling DeLorean here. We're gonna gun it to 88 miles per hour and talk about some of the cool moments that happened in the past in terms of the world. Professional wrestling. All right, so and I know I'm gonna Antonio Inoki is fired from New Japan from Japan Wrestling Association after failed coup to take over the company the following year. He would start his own company, New Japan Professional Wrestling. Obviously, still to this day, you've seen how great of a decision that ultimately was. So congratulations. Obviously, I remember that match. Well, I remember watching that match. I wasn't born yet. I remember watching that match between him and Muhammad Ali, which was boxing against professional wrestling. So I thought that was kind of cool. Andre the Giant won the last title of his illustrious career as he and Haku, the Colossal Connection, defeated Demolition in Huntsville, Alabama to win the WWF Tag Team Championships. That's cool. That's cool. Definitely Andre the Giant. Enough said. Everybody knows who Andre the Giant is. If you're a wrestling fan or not. Kind of like Hulk Hogan, kind of like The Rock, kind of like Stone Cold Steve Austin, kind of like John Cena, like Roman Reigns. There's a lot of names in professional wrestling that's going to live on forever. It's going to live on for absolutely forever. And Andre the Giant definitely, he was the first ever to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, I believe it was. Don't quote me on that. But, it's kind of cool to see them, kind of team up, the Colossal Connection. Demolition was good, too. Demolition was definitely one of the best tag teams during their respective runs during the 1980s in terms of the world of professional wrestling. All right, so we have... 1989, WCW presented Starrcade 89 Future Shock from the Omni in Atlanta, Georgia. The show was built around 2 round-robin tournaments, 1 singles and 1 tag. Sting won the singles tournament over Lex Luger, Ric Flair, and the Great Muta. The tag team tournament was won by the Road Warriors, also included Doom, the Steiner Brothers, and the New Wild Samoans. So that's kind of cool. I definitely love the Road Warriors. They were pretty badass. Also Sting, a lot of great names. A promising start to WCW back then. All right, in 1993, in the final of the tournament to crown the first WWF Women's Champion since 1990, Alundra Blaze beat Heidi Lee Morgan in Poughkeepsie, New York. Obviously future WWE Hall of Famer Alundra Blaze, pretty badass. In 1995, 2 years to the day since being brought back into the company, the WWF Women's Championship was deactivated after champion Alundra Blaze and the rest of the women's division were released. In a cost-cutting move, Blaze would soon turn up in WCW Monday Night Nitro and famously throwing the belt, which she retained possession of, in the trash. That was that was pretty big for WWE when that happened. It's kind of it kind of started the Monday Night Wars. I know it was kind of a little early in 1995, but obviously back in the day, Eric Bischoff was still pretty tenacious to be like, we want to make sure that, these stars coming from WWF/WWE today, we want the audience to know that, we want them to know that they were done unjust and that WWF is an evil corporation who don't appreciate their stars. And, obviously this spot was, it was pretty bad. Even in the Vince McMahon documentary, he explained how detrimental this was for the WWF. But, eventually they were able to kind of get off their feet and win the Monday Night Wars. All right, so WWE presented In Your House Rock Bottom from General Motors Palace in Vancouver, British Columbia. We saw, there we go. In the main event, we saw Stone Cold Steve Austin defeat The Undertaker in a Buried Alive match. In a match for the WWE Championship, Mankind defeated The Rock by knockout at the finish. At the finish, wasn't by pinfall or submission. The Rock, retained the title. All right, in 1998, the ECW Tag Team Championships changed hands in Tokyo, Japan, when Rob Van Dam, Sabu defeated Devon and Bubba Ray Dudley. The Dudley Boys, obviously, the Dudley Boys, huge, legends inside the world of wrestling, in the ECW and WWE. Obviously, when they kind of had their little thing in TNA, Bully Ray was pretty badass. And Rob Van Dam, RVD, and Sabu, oh my God, these guys were they were talented. Obviously, RVD achieved a little bit more success. Well, he achieved success in WWE, obviously defeating John Cena at the ECW One Night Stand for the WWE Championship. And then, Sabu, when he came to WWE, I feel like they could have booked him better. But, during this whole invasion angle, a lot of WCW stars did fall victim to the ego of Vinnie Mac. And, they weren't really, not really, good things. All right, so we have in 1999, on Monday Night Nitro in New Orleans, Louisiana, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, the Outsiders, defeat Goldberg and Bret Hart to win the WCW Tag Team Championships. This was this was good. This was good because this would be a huge stepping stone to what eventually would be the NWO. You had to make Scott Hall and Kevin Nash seem like they were contenders. Make them seem like they actually could hang in this powerhouse that was WCW at the time. In 2005, at a SmackDown taping, Batista and Rey Mysterio won the WWE Tag Team Championships from MNM, Joey Mercury, and Johnny Nitro. Obviously, this was a huge thing for Rey Mysterio and Batista, especially after because Eddie, I think, passed in November. So this was, kind of cool. In 2008, in a match in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, The Miz and John Morrison won the World Tag Team Championships from Kofi Kingston and CM Punk. It's kind of crazy, the unlikeliest of tag teams. But, the unlikeliest of tag teams defeated one of the most unlikeliest of tag teams, Kofi Kingston and CM Punk. So, kind of crazy. 2009, WWE's first tables, ladders, and chairs pay-per-view took place at the AT&T Center in San Antonio, Texas, obviously the hometown of Shawn Michaels. 3 title changed hands on the card. The first was the Intercontinental Championship, where Drew McIntyre defeated John Morrison. Later on, Sheamus won his first WWE Championship with a victory over John Cena. In a tables match in the main event, we saw D-Generation X, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels win the unified WWE Tag Team Championships in the TLC match against Jericho, Chris Jericho, and The Big Show. The Undertaker also took on Batista in a chairs match. That was kind of like the highlight of my WWE. I remember watching that, and it was pretty badass. I was a huge person. I was a huge dork of D-Generation X. I had the shirts, I had everything. It was pretty cool. 2010, the annual Slammy Awards took place on Monday Night Raw. John Cena took home the award of Superstar of the Year. Not really a surprise there, especially back in 2010. 2015, WWE TLC Tables, Ladders, and Chairs took place at the TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. At the event, you saw Dean Ambrose won the Intercontinental Championship from Kevin Owens. In the main event, Sheamus retained his WWE Championship in a TLC match against the big dog Roman Reigns. In 2016, WWE hosted Tribute to the Troops, which was taped and at the Verizon Center in Washington, D.C. The main event saw Roman Reigns and Big Cass defeat Rusev and Kevin Owens, obviously, I think the top heels at that time. And finally, in 2019, it was a momentous night in Ring of Honor history as their final battle took place. Pay-per-view took place in Baltimore, Maryland, as 3 title changes took place. The final 3 matches on the card, Dragon Lee defeated Shane Taylor for the Ring of Honor Television Championship in the first change of the night. In the following match, we saw Jay Lethal and Jonathan Gresham beat Jay and Mark Briscoe to win the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. Finally, we saw PCO defeat Rush for the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship. So, like I said, PCO has been around professional wrestling for a long time. It's kind of crazy. All right, guys, so hey, that was my show. Like I said, remember to like and subscribe to the show. Follow us on Twitter /X, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook for more content and updates. Like I always say, if I've not made you a wrestling fan by now, we have all these amazing podcasts. Make sure you check them out on the GSMC Sports Network. They have one passion, same passion as you guys. Awesome sports talk. So make sure you guys tune into all the other guys. Once again, hope you guys have a great week. Hopefully you guys are having an amazing holiday season. Stay beautiful, but most importantly, love you. Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go.